He's at home. Hello. Welcome to another episode. What episode are we on? We are on 12. Episode 12 of Dropping into Happiness. I know we're getting there. We're getting there. Just trugging up that little hill one step at a time. I know. So hello and welcome everyone. We are your hosts. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie.
Welcome,
I feel like I said it
hello.
a little differently today. And I'm Maggie. Hello.
Yeah, we need a little more zazz in it, Maggie. Come on.
Yeah.
Be on it.
We're recording a little bit later than we normally do, so I'm like,
I know this is much later in the day for you.
Yeah. And it was a very chill day for me. I was like napping and sitting on the couch, and then I decluttered, and I'm in the mode.
I was gonna say, you have very kind of a hippie-ish shirt on today with your tie-dye, so you're just kind of zen today. Like
I know, and I've got like the Hermione Granger crimp going on for those that are not on the YouTube. Every time I try to crimp my hair, I just turn into like, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
I'm rereading all of the books, and so I'm also rewatching all of the movies because I'm just such a diehard. However, though, today I know I wanted to point out for those who are on YouTube, my shirt I have on today. I was showing you, so I have on a very special shirt today.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, this shirt is actually an NSV for me. So one of our actual very loyal listeners, who is my cousin. I'm going to give her a shout out. My cousin Jessica and her daughter. I know, my cousin Jessica, her daughter, Miss Emma Jean. They got me this for my birthday years ago. I think it was 2017, actually. And I never told her, but it was way too tight. And I was never going to get rid of it. I'm like, well, it was a gift. She gave it to me. And now when I wear it, it's actually a little big. So I'm very happy. I know. NSVs, like, try them on, guys. If you're holding on to things that didn't used to fit, try those back on. We've been talking about that this week, too, with other people. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's hop in. I want to welcome everybody. I want to remind everyone the merch store is open. If you go to our Instagram, we have a link tree that will show you all the links to all the things, actually. So to our email address, if you ever have any questions, if you want to submit a mantra or a quote, whether it be from somebody else or something you say to yourself, send those in to us. It'll give you, links to our website, to our merch store, to all that good stuff. So remember putting that one out there. I do have a quote today, quote, mantra, whatever you want to call it, from one of our Instagram followers. So we have one of those to share today. Very fun.
Ooh,
and today, our topic of conversation is what does our support system look like? Because I feel like it's going to look different for everyone. And I feel like sometimes people think it has to look a certain way. And we kind of want to debunk a little bit of that and then just kind of talk about what our support system has looked like throughout our journey. So I think the first question I want us to answer for the listener, for anybody else on a wellness journey, is, Maggie, what do you feel like the benefit of having a support system is on a wellness journey?
You are not alone. I'm here with you. Okay, seriously.
Yeah.
There are people out there who think they have to change their lifestyle all by themselves. And it's hard enough as it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Absolutely.
Duh.
Yeah.
So to have a support system, someone in your corner, rooting for you, being a sounding board when you're having a tough day, problem solving with you, encouraging you, helping reframe negative thoughts, right?
Which we've talked about. Yeah.
Yeah. We talk to ourselves how we would never talk to a friend. And so if we have someone to just kind of talk through some things, how we're feeling, that person can catch some things that maybe you aren't catching within yourself, the way that you're speaking to yourself. So, I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Well, and one thing that I think some people can recognize too is that your support system doesn't always have to be within your household. It doesn't have to be within your family. It doesn't even have, and I know this is going to sound weird as I say it doesn't even have to be somebody you know.
Right.
We've been doing
IRL.
Yes. We've been doing our WW virtual workshops since December
2020.
2020. Gosh. And I have seen so many people meet others virtually who are now a sounding board, a support system, somebody who they lean on, and they've never met them in real life. I mean, you and I have never met each other in real life.
Never touched each other, never hugged.
Yeah.
And
never been in the same state
12 episodes deep in a podcast that was birthed in Rachel's brain. Had we not met, I don't know.
I know. So it's funny how like everything you said I had written down too. Someone, you can lean on, feeling like you're not alone. Because I know sometimes, like you said, when those negative thoughts can creep in and we have that feeling of, oh, I'm the only person this happens to. Why am I the only one failing? I feel like it's really nice to have someone. And I think it was a couple episodes ago when we were talking about having that negative mindset, how it just having that someone to talk it out loud with too, like you and I had done. And we were like, see, we didn't even know that each other was feeling this way. So it's just nice to talk out loud with someone. And I know you and I have very similar paths when it comes to who we joined with. So I think both of us can say, like, our moms are one of our support systems. What branches out from your mom for you?
Well, definitely. My mom supported my WW journey from day one. So much so that she ended up joining a few months later. And my whole family ended up joining. My mom, my dad, my older brother, his fiance, my younger brother, who is no longer
I didn't know that many people.
Yeah, well, and my younger brother ended up losing like over 100 pounds and then shifted entire careers and is now in the Air Force in special warfare. Like it's pretty crazy. So I'm very lucky that my immediate family understands tracking. They understand what it's like to focus on weight management and weight loss, right? Because that's not everyone's journey. So it's really nice to have them in my corner. But also aside from that, even if they weren't on the WW journey, they've just always been my biggest cheerleaders. I've been very blessed to have that kind of family connection. My partner Seth, who I've been with for 5 years, has seen me at my highest weight, my medium weight, my lowest weight, where I am now.
Same.
He's seen all kinds of different diets I've tried, and just been cheering me on through it all. And at the end of the day, just wanting me to be happy. But he has never been on a weight management
I was going to say he hasn't
journey.
needed one. So just the fact though that he's still understanding yours and you're like, hey, this is how I'm looking at things differently, that can be really helpful.
Yeah. And he is so helpful too, because I don't know if you feel this way, Rachel, but especially now that I've been committed to it for 2 years, it's a part of my job now to live a healthy lifestyle. It's very all-encompassing. You can kind of go tunnel vision with it, where it's like all I'm doing is thinking about health, wellness, weight loss. And Seth is great because he adds an outside perspective to say, hey, do you realize that all the content you've consumed today has been weight loss oriented? Maybe it's time to refocus and pay attention to something else for the day, or just have that extra accountability.
You step back for a minute.
Yeah, and be like, okay, we want balance, so let's just kind of like refocus and take a break and those kinds of things. So he adds a very helpful perspective for sure.
That's funny you say that. I never really thought about it because I do tend to read a lot of self-help books, and I love documentaries, about, the food industry and why this is good for your brain. And I listen to our the WW walk talks. But when I sit down with my husband at night, it's like, cool, do we want to watch Ghost Hunters or, something like really off the wall that has nothing to do with it. And that is nice. That kind of take away that break. That's very true. I didn't realize so many, like how your family just kept expanding, like to join. I didn't realize it was that many. I knew your mom and your brother, your little brother.
Yeah. So my whole family, and then now, of course, a huge part of my support system is my Instagram community. Shout out Maggie Tracks Magic followers out there. Appreciate y'all. And it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. I don't remember, how many people I had following me when I started WW, but now I know I have over 14,000 people watching me, holding me accountable, cheering me on, celebrating me if I have a rough day, encouraging me, right? So again, tons of people that I've not even met who I know are cheering me on. That makes a big difference, in how I feel and how I'm showing up for myself. So that's a big part of it. I have my Orange Theory fitness community, my coaches there that play a big part in just my...
And that has a different focus too, though. That's very like activity oriented
Yeah.
too. So it has that different focus of it as well.
Yeah, big focus on fitness and non-scale victories. You know, I experienced a lot of my non-scale
Mm-hmm.
victories at Orange Theory and just pushing myself outside of the scale. So that's a big part of my support system. And obviously, virtual workshops. The coworkers that I have, the friends that I've made, including
Yeah.
Rachel, obviously, but shout out Mama Kay, Karen, Kim More Slim, my girl Kim, Ariel, who y'all have met on the podcast
Yes.
now. I mean, the list
Yeah.
goes on and
Yeah.
on and on for those people that I have,
Yeah.
you know, in my corner now who I would have never met had I not become, you know, a WW employee. So, I mean, I am not shy of any support, that's for sure.
I know, well, and because that was part of like how I was looking at it too. Is so I was looking back on how did I start? What did my support system look like when I started? Because same with my husband, like he knew me at my heaviest, he knew me at my medium, he's known me at goal, so he
Mhm.
has seen me throughout the whole thing. But him and my kids were not on plan. They have no desire whatsoever to do
Mhm.
that. My daughter now is more conscious of it because she's an athlete now, so
Mhm.
she thinks about like, hey, I need to get in more protein, or I'd really like to get in some more carbs because I'm going to have a game. Like she's really thinking that out, and I love that she's doing that, and she knows exactly who to go to for those kinds of things. But
Yeah.
they weren't on it, and but my mom signed up with me, my sister-in-law, my mom's best friend, and my best friend. So we had a
Mhm.
little group chat going on, and kid you not, none of us lived by each other. So,
Mhm.
and we were states away even. So we would just text check in every Monday, like, how was it going? Because when we started was right when the pandemic kicked off. So
Right.
I couldn't go into a studio. There was no
Mhm.
such thing as virtual workshops yet. So it was just finding somebody else who, like we said, was a sounding board, somebody who could understand, hey, well, this was a struggle I was having this week, or how are you guys doing that? What did you do? Or
Mhm.
finding I'm telling you, Maggie, my mom calls me yesterday and was like, all right, so I got that Fairlife drink that Maggie talked about. I really like
Oh.
it. So, like just
Okay,
just sharing things.
I just drank this
Yes.
before we recorded, and I was like, I can't remember if I talked about this yet, so I had it on standby for a recommendation,
Yes.
but now I know I don't need to mention it again.
Yeah.
It's okay. We get all these ideas
I
from each
know.
other. It's so nice. Yeah.
Yes. Just like, oh yeah, well, I know you tried it and you liked it, so maybe I'll try it too. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe it'll be a part of my routine. So, I mean, and obviously my mom and I are the only ones still on it, but I've seen people come and go and get on it and not be on it, but it has expanded so much. Like you said, from now having it being part of our employment, and then meeting our virtual friends. And I have so many people in workshops, and I always tell them, I said, you guys don't realize what a big part of my journey you are. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because like we go on to support them, to encourage them. But I mean, you and I keep notes because I'm like, where did you find that? What was that called? And I'm writing
Right.
things down because I'm like, guys, I am on the journey still too. I'm still
Mhm.
tracking every single day. I'm still looking at my activity. I'm still following my pillars, and
Right.
so it's wonderful to still have such a wonderful community. And I love like Instagram too. My Instagram is getting higher as well. What's mine called? Balancing That Life, because right, balance is my favorite when it comes to this journey.
Yes.
So being able to have a support system, being able to share with others, being able to pull ideas from others, because like you said, if somebody, I think one of the reasons I really wanted to talk about this topic too is for anybody who's starting and thinking, because I've had somebody tell me this too, well, my husband's not going to do it and my kids aren't going to do it, so I just don't think I can. Yes,
Mm.
you can. And because
Mhm.
some people think too that they have to completely take everything out of their fridge and everything out of their cabinets and fill it all with, I'm going to do air quotes, diet foods. And that's
Mhm.
not the case in any way. You can make little changes. You can make little adjustments. My kids sometimes have no idea that they're having, the healthiest meal because they just like how it tastes now.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm making all of the things, and I got, fat-free refried beans, and it's, a lot of chicken, and we're having greens with it. And they don't see it as healthy foods. They just see it as, oh, this is bomb. This is really good. Like, I'm loving this food. So
Right.
I want people to understand that your support system can look very, very different from what you anticipate it to look like.
Right. And
It
of
can be
course,
much smaller or much bigger, and it can grow over time.
mhm. And you
Yeah.
have those people in your life who just support you because they love you, regardless of if you're on a health and wellness journey or not. They're just your cheerleaders. But then you have those people who get it. Like that's why I love workshops,
Mm-hmm.
because there are people in workshop that just get it, that get why I might break down in tears because I'm like, I can't figure out the points of Blaze Pizza, and I just wish I was the kind of person that could just say, I want Blaze Pizza. Why do I have to think, and y'all get it. Like, you get the tantrums, or you get the struggles, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then there's just people in your life, they're like, hey, I love you. I'm so proud of you. You're doing a great job, and I might not understand everything that you're going through, but I'm really proud of you. So it, their
Mm-hmm.
support looks different in different ways in different people. And one thing I do want to share that Dr. Gary Foster talks about in The Shift, a book that we've recommended on the podcast in previous episodes, is that the people that
Yeah.
love you and care about you, they want to support you. They just might not know what that looks like yet. And so knowing that the people that you have in your corner, maybe if they don't totally understand your health and wellness journey, talk to them about it. Tell them how you
Mm-hmm.
would feel most supported, right? Advocate for yourself in that way, because if they really do love you and care about you, they will adjust and find those ways to support you best. So communication is key.
I like how you broke that down. I hadn't even really thought about that. The people who get it and the people who don't get it but support you regardless.
Yeah, yeah. We're
Because
very
like
lucky to
like
have
my,
all
my
of
my
it.
father-in-law. Yeah, my father-in-law was very like, I just want to make sure you're safe and you're doing this well. And I'm like, absolutely. And my husband too. I just want to make sure you're healthy. That's all that matters to me. And he gets like some like his only rule really is I'm not allowed to go for a walk at like 5 a.m. if it's dark outside. He's like, be safe, please. Come on, have some some sanity. Like be safe. But other than that, he's not like, well, how many points is that? And he's never asked me, are you allowed to have that? He just knows
Mhm,
if I'm making this decision, then it's a decision I have made along this journey. Or he'll say,
mhm,
how do you want to get your food? Or is there somewhere you want to go eat? Which it doesn't sound like full, like direct support, but that is, people
mhm,
asking you how, like, is there somewhere you'd like to go? Is there, do you want to go for a walk? Or like, if you know what I mean? Like
mhm.
saying those things too are words of support, even if it's not flat out, I support you. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
just
yeah.
listening for the words that they're using and then the care that they're showing and emphasizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I've
it's so fun.
I think it's important to, when you identify who your support system is, to understand what their love language is. If y'all don't know about the 5 love languages, right?
Yes.
I think it's 5. It's 5, right?
Ooh.
Acts
Uh-huh.
of
Yeah.
service,
I have the book.
gifts, quality time. Can't
Words of
remember the other ones.
affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Is there a fifth one? Ah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
we'll
trying to think
think
too.
of.
Touch. Did you say physical touch?
Oh, maybe I did not. Physical touch. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like for Seth, I know his is acts of service. He's not always like a super mushy words of affirmation person, right? But he'll cut up some veggies for me that I've just like thrown on the counter, and he
Yes.
knows that I like them chopped. Or he'll grill chicken because he knows that that's a go-to protein for me, and I'll have it on hand throughout the week. And and that is showing that support without being like,
Yeah.
you're so awesome, I love you, you're wonderful, you're doing such a great job,
Yes.
right? Which obviously it's great to hear those words, but I think also we have to be open to how our loved ones
How
show
they're going to
their
show
love and
support.
support, and
Yes.
and just being aware of those things. I think
That's
that's
a
really important too.
fantastic point because we did that when we first got married too. Somebody got us the book because obviously I think it's very important to understand your partner's love language because
Hmm.
sometimes you'll feel like you're showing love and they're not feeling it because it's not how yeah, so whole thing.
Right.
But one of mine, and I remember he laughed at me at first, was like gifts. And
Hmm.
he was like, oh, so I gotta buy you things all the time? And I was like, no. Honestly, it could be like the smallest thing. Like you could leave me a note. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it could just be little things left for me. But he has found the most beautiful way to incorporate that throughout our marriage. Like he'll just randomly come home sometimes with flowers because he saw them and
Hmm.
wanted to get me some. I can
Hmm.
be I almost every Thursday now, he does this a lot, especially if he takes the kids to school. He comes home and I'll be in a workshop, I'll be on camera, and he'll slide a Starbucks green tea over to me. Like without asking me if I want one, he knows my go-to drink. And he's like, well, if I'm going to go, I'm going to grab her one too. And
Yeah.
those little things mean so much to me. Like I
Yeah.
love those little actions and he knows them now. And his is quality time and physical touch. So like a lot of times
Mhm.
we're watching TV, even if our feet are touching, You know what I mean? That shows I'm here with you. So that was a really good one to bring up. I like that.
Of course, not only with our romantic partners, but again, like I know how my mom expresses love and it's different than how my dad expresses love and support. And I think it's just kind of important to keep those things in mind because it's easy when you're not feeling supported in the way that you receive love to point the finger, right? Like you're not showing me that you love me. But everybody has their way of showing support differently. So just keeping an open mind with it, I think, is so important. One platform that we haven't talked about yet.
And I think sometimes people can see it. I think sometimes people can see it the opposite way too. Like they would buy themselves a candy and not you one. And you're like, why didn't you give me a candy? It was like, well, I didn't think you wanted one because I know they're really high in points. You know what I mean? So like they're doing it with good heart in mind, even though it doesn't look like it to you sometimes. So yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I think one platform that we haven't mentioned yet, and I just want to make sure that we say it before our podcast is up. Connect. If you're a WW member and you're not leaning into Connect, that's a huge resource for your support, not only in the wide world of Connect, but in Connect groups. And both Rachel and I have our own Connect groups. Feel free to join both of them if you're a workshop member. But it's a great place to cheer each other on, to ask questions, to vent it out right outside of workshop time. So I really encourage folks to utilize the Connect groups if you haven't already.
Well, and if you're not a WW member, I know there are so many Facebook groups too of just individuals in that mindset. You know what I mean? And then also like ours on Instagram, you can find people with similar interests and start to follow them. So that's the kind of things you'll start to generate in your feed. So there's a lot of different ways socially, like virtual socially, you can do to find your people. Find your people on the internet, in person, but there are other forms of support than just your people in your household or things like that. So
I've built real
friendships with conversation.
It. Yeah, it's so sweet to have support. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I mentioned earlier, I do have a quote mantra inspiring word from this is somebody who is one of our Instagram followers. So I didn't quite get her name, but I have her Instagram handle. So I hope she doesn't mind if I mention that. But she had listened to last week's podcast and this one had popped into mind for her and she had commented. So this one that she really liked, and she saw it on another Instagram person. So the person who gave it to me, her name is Healthy Happy Self Care. And she actually saw it on another Instagram called Aaron_shrinking. And it just said, what if this time you don't give up? And she said, I know, right? Just very simple, very to the point. And she said, it just hit me, when I'm having those struggles and those days. And it's like, but what if this time you don't give up? And I looked to see if that was, a bigger quote from somebody. And actually the words are just changed a slight bit, but Greg Reed, if anybody ever wants to officially see where that quote comes from, I found it online. Greg Reed is an author and he had said that. And, she just said that really spoke to her. And I was like, I love when they can, you know what I mean? So I love when you guys tell us one that just kind of hit you and gave you that, either that vision or that focus or something, because you never know who else is going to hear that and think, I needed to hear that today. So I thought that was a really, really good one. Yeah. Have you heard that one before, Maggie?
Yes. I've said it. I've put it on captions on Instagram and all kinds of stuff because it really is such an important question to ask yourself, especially when, what we were talking about in an episode on negative mindset or setbacks and things, just ask yourself, okay, what if I just keep going? What if this is the time that I don't give up? It can be really powerful. So I love that one. I'm glad that we brought that to the podcast.
Yeah, I know. It was a really, really great share. So yeah, if you guys ever have one you want to share with us, you want us to share on the air, you can get on our Instagram, Dropping Into Happiness Pod. Like I said, you can email it to us, droppingintohappiness@gmail.com, on the website, droppingintohappiness.com, all of the places. So many, many ways you can reach out to us. And you can reach out and tell us what your favorite ones are, things that have spoke to you, ones that you like to say out loud, anything like that. And we will mention you on the air and share it with the world. And I do say world because I promise you guys, we have listeners in Canada and South Africa and the UK. We actually have a lot in Canada.
Peru.
I think there was Peru, Germany. Yeah. We genuinely have listeners all over the world. So we're sharing the love, sharing the knowledge, and sharing that support. Because even if you feel like us right now being here with you, that is a sign of support as well. We are here with you guys every single Wednesday to cheer you guys on and to share a little bit of our journey with you. So time for our star goals, though. Star goals and our recommendations. So do you want to start off this week? I feel like I always do.
Sure. So the episode when this launches, it'll be March 30th, if I'm correct. So this week that
23rd.
You are watching and listening. Oh, 23rd, really? Oh, rats. Okay, so I'm a week ahead. Let me just tell you what my real-time star goal is, then I'll save the other one for the next episode. So my real-time star goal is continuation from previous weeks. I have a guideline of 2 drive-thrus and 2 meals out. I was going to be with my parents this weekend, but they have shifted their trip because of weather. So I have a little bit more flexibility. I was kind of nervous about how this week's goal was going to pan out, but regular week for me, so should be able to stick to that intention. And then my recommendation, in honor of International Women's Month, and for support, I want to support a small business, and I've talked about this business on my Instagram. They're headbands by a small business owner named Holly. They are honey bear bands, okay? And if you're watching on YouTube, I have props here.
Sounds super cute.
These are great for fashion, or I wear them primarily in working out to keep my hair out of my face. They have the twist option, or you can wear it with the thick band at the top. So your choice. You can also layer them up. Super soft, and I have fine hair.
I was going to say, it looks really like a nice material.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a wick effect kind?
It's not super moisture
sweat off your forehead?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
it looks like it would be.
Yeah, I mean, like, I do not experience any sweat coming down the face when I wear these, and like I said, they don't slip. That's the big thing, because with headbands like these, more of a sport band, they usually slip off my head and I get very annoyed. These do not. She has so many cute patterns. The one I'm holding up has like a leopard print for those listening. I got a cute one with little cows wearing floral crowns. She has Disney ones. So yeah, super Harry Potter ones, like Friends, all kinds of stuff. So I bought all of these with my own money. I have like 6 now. Holly was very sweet. She gifted me one of them. But now I have a code too. Not a commission code, just a code to save money, Maggie 15. So I know Rachel will probably include all of this in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put the link to the small business and all the info in the show notes. Yeah.
But these are great and they're affordable, and I couldn't recommend them more. So that's my random recommendation for the week.
I like it.
Yay.
I know. If I don't, and it's funny because I sweat the most when I'm done working out. Like my body stops and it's like, shoo, and then I suddenly want to, and I'm like in my eye. But if I have a headband on, I use a different company, but similar look. But I'm like, dude, I want to look at hers. I'm like, I want a Harry Potter one.
They're very aesthetically pleasing.
Okay, so
very cute.
I know they're super cute too. So I got to check those out. So, okay. My star goal this week is, I've noticed, especially my daughter's in softball now and we're starting to have games on the weekend, and usually the weekends are not an issue for me, but obviously our lives change, things happen, and my weekends are getting a little bit more of a struggle for me because, we're out at the ball field or we're going here and we're running errands, and I find myself going much more over on my points on the weekend than I usually do. So it's to stay on track over the weekend, whether that means just making sure I track everything, but in my mind, I need to pre-plan. Especially if I know we're going to be at the ball field, I'm going to, pre-make sandwiches or my adult lunchbox, which I'm loving that. And that was your idea. And I'm loving it because it has protein, it has fiber. And so it really does keep me full too. So I think I'm going to make a few of those. So when we're out at the ball field, they're just easy to grab. And mine are like 3 points for all of it in my box. I'm like, that's like snack points, but it's a meal. Yep. So yeah, love that. So I'll probably end up doing that. And then my recommendation this week is know your crew. Like, I think even if you need to write it down who is your support crew? And I mean, even do tiers if you have to. Like Maggie was saying, like, these are the people I go to for like my struggles. These are the people I go to when I'm just in a really, great place with it, because they're gonna come at it in a different way. But even if you have to write it out like a family tree kind of thing, but I feel like it's just good to know when you're having a struggle, boom, this is who I call, or this is who I can lean on, or this is who I can talk to, and just kind of know who your crew is. So when you need it, you know where it's at, kind of thing. So and that was my recommendation. But okay, well, I think this one, I just feel like this one had so much love in it. Like it was very warm and cuddly. I don't even know how to explain it. So this was such a nice one. All right, guys, but that's going to wrap us up. So I just want to say thanks for dropping